Hola y bienvenidos to this week's Tarot Talk, where we will be discussing the transits taking place between March the 29th through to April the 4th. I'm Auri Solares, and this is a very interesting week. We have a full moon taking place, and the ruler of this full moon will be Venus. We start off the week, Monday the 30th, with Venus entering Tauro, which is her domicile. Venus in Tauro rejoices and takes deep pleasure in taking her time, in being leisurely and enjoying the things that she enjoys for the sake of enjoyment and nothing else, in planting your feet on the earth and allowing the soil and the grass to ground you and to make you feel a sense of stability and remembrance with the planet, but also with your body. Venus in Tauro is just beautiful all around. And we officially have the two benefics of the sky in places that they like to be in. Jupiter in Cancer, which just stationed direct, and now Venus in Tauro. Venus has spent the last couple of weeks in Aries, co-present Neptune and Saturn, which is not an easy place for Venus to navigate. So now that she's in Tauro, we can take a deep breath and we can start to relax a bit and to really center into the things that bring us pleasure and stability and a deep remembrance to our inner goddess and the mother goddess, which is planet Earth. And it doesn't matter if you identify as a male or a guy, whatever pronouns you might have. Anybody can do this. Everybody should do this. And so Venus here can finally sit on her throne and delegate tasks how she likes to delegate them. Maybe while one of her ladies in waiting feeds her grapes and she's overlooking the scenery and making decisions on, okay, where are my values at? Where is my stability at, especially after confronting Saturn and Neptune, which challenge ideas of what is real, what is not real, what is long-lasting, what brings confusion, and in a sign like Aries, which is very combative, which is very hot and fast and playful, but a bit much for Venus. So I love that she is in her domicile now because on Wednesday the 1st, happy April Fools, we've got the full moon in Libra. And Venus also rules over Libra. This lunation is happening at 12 degrees, and it's an interesting one because it's going to make an opposition to Neptune and Saturn in Aries. It'll also make a trine to Pluto in Aquarium, and it will square Jupiter in Cancer. So this lunation happening in Libra is going to highlight where it is that there is emotional instability. Think of the scales. Where are we placing way too much emotion and way too much investment in the situation that isn't giving back enough? Saturn and Neptune being in this opposition will really highlight what has been real, what has been fantasy, where do we have delusions of maybe where a relationship or a situation will go, and what is being illuminated about that is showing us it's not ever going to get there, and you need to make a decision for your own well-being and to recalibrate everything, to balance out the scales, if you will. With that square to Jupiter in Cancer, this will feel like a very emotional decision. It'll be really big, especially in a trine to Pluto. So there is something very transformative about what is showing up for you at this time. To use a very clear example, maybe you've been in a relationship, be it romantic or platonic, and you have been overgiving, and this other person is just not giving back. And you keep telling yourself, if only I give it more time, or if only I give more, they will meet me halfway. Saturn and Neptune will likely be exposing here. They're not going to. You have been blurring your own boundaries to try to get someone to love you or to be closer to you than they want to be. This is a reality of it, and you now need to make a decision. And making this decision will likely absolutely change your life, and it'll change their life. It's going to be very powerful and very cathartic. It's going to be very catalyzing. There's that Pluto influence, but you know that it has to happen to get your power back, to get your sovereignty back, to not be in a weird control dynamic with someone else. And in a square to Jupiter in Cancer, in this specific example, you could be very aware of the fact that this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt to let go of something. Full moons are typically moments where we do release something that is ready to be released. Sometimes that could be releasing a project that you're really excited about, or it could be releasing an old situation that doesn't work for you anymore, that is stifling your growth and your abundance and your expansion. Jupiter, right? And so tend to your emotions, listen to what is being shared with you right now, pay attention to what is being illuminated, and make the decision that you know know you need to make. If you have been sitting on something and you've been thinking, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? Take this as your sign. And if you would so like to, you can also do a bit of a full moon ritual. Since it's in an air sign with Libra, sit outside maybe at night during the full moon and whisper what it is that you are declaring for yourself in the future. Whisper what you are letting go of, what you are no longer tolerating, where your new values and your new priorities lie for yourself and in your relationship dynamics. What is the structure that you want your relationships to hold moving forward? And whisper it to the wind and let the wind carry it all throughout the earth, into the stars, into the plants. And that could be a little bit of a ritual idea for you. But this is a lunation to focus on our relationships and to release old templates of relating to others in order to allow for you to shine your light as bright as you can, to not dim yourself for anybody and to not make yourself small for anybody. It's never, ever worth it. And sometimes people enter our lives as antagonists or as the bad guy in order for us to learn how to value ourselves and to learn how to see our light and how to advocate for ourselves. And when that soul contract expires and it's ready to be let go, typically something that you can't ignore will come forth. Or maybe the situation just goes flat and nothing is moving, nothing is changing, no one is growing, and it's no longer life-giving, even on like a soul wisdom level. And you know that it's time for you to release it. So however it is that this lunation shows up for you, pay attention to the Libra part of your chart. If you have 12 degrees in any of the cardinal signs, you will be feeling this a lot more acutely. And take it easy, allow yourself to feel your emotions in full, and know that you can rely on your support systems to carry you through any difficult situation. Libra is a sign that is very much about prioritizing community and the social groups that it thrives in, and lean on those people that are rocks for you. Going back to Venus and Tauro, there are certain people in your life where you know, that's my rock, that's my person. They help ground me. When I'm with them, they remind me that I'm not too much, that I'm not too little, that I can completely change who I am tomorrow and they'll still see me. They'll still be a witness to me and they won't try to change me. Lean into those relationships. If you feel like you don't have those relationships around you at this time, then maybe that is what you can call in as well. And whilst releasing perhaps relationship templates where people refuse to see you in your light, refuse to see your authenticity, and refuse to witness the full dynamic spectrum of who you can be. We are multidimensional beings, and anyone who demands that you show up the exact same way every single day is eventually going to feel like a stifling person. It's going to feel like a stifling dynamic. So I wish you a very lovely lunation. This full moon can also be interesting for going out and socializing, actually. So if you do decide to be around a lot of people on this Wednesday, then just make sure that you've got your boundaries intact and that you don't let anyone try to push you around or brush up against your edges just because they want you to be a certain person. This can be a very interesting lunation for speaking to others about relationship dynamics as well and how we function in a community at this time. So happy full moon. And then on Friday the 3rd, we have two very interesting aspects. Mercury in Pisces will be making a trine to Jupiter in Cancer at 15 degrees. This is going to be a window of healing conversations, compassionate relating, and a lot of emotional intelligence abound. Mercury is out of its retrograde and shadow stage, and it is moving forward out of Pisces. Of course, we know that Mercury in Pisces is not at its strongest, but in a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, it lends for this very artistic, creative, whimsy Mercury that can utilize otherworldly ideas in order to expand and to grow outward and to inspire others and to channel really deep feeling emotions into something beautiful and creative and etheric. So I love this configuration. Pairing it with this next one, I find very interesting. It's almost like a healing elixir to the Venus in Tauro square with Pluto in Aquario. This is happening at 5 degrees, and this is kind of night and day to the trine with Mercury and Jupiter. Venus has had a hard time in Aries, and she's kicking off her heels to relax in Tauro, and then in the darkness comes Pluto looming in the background, ready to poke at Venus. There could be tensions and challenges in your life regarding how you are experiencing beauty and pleasure in relation to maybe external systems that are interrupting that. Maybe there are expectations for you in a group or in a job that demand more of your time and energy than you are willing to give at this time. Or perhaps control dynamics are challenging our sense of comfort and stability. There is going to be something here that Venus is going to have to acknowledge and deal with in order for her to fully move forward in Tauro in her most pleasurable self. This could also have to do perhaps with our ideas of what it means to be human versus what it means to consume art and consume beauty from things like artificial intelligence or very alien-like sources. We might be combating this push of AI on us with more human artistic values. We might be leaning back into our own artistry and craftsmanship in order to defy this weird sort of artificial intelligence system that just wants so badly to be a thing. And we're basically saying, no, we don't want the AI. We don't want the image, the stolen artist image generated thing that you want to push down our throats for money and profit, all while it simultaneously kills the planet. I'm going to just actually do it in a human way and in a better way, because that is the value that goes into art. It's that human artistry. And so this could be a moment where we are also just drawing a line on what it is that we'll consume for our beauty and pleasure and what is comfortable and convenient even, versus what we won't tolerate even though it's wanting to be a relevant thing out in the world. And what is your relationship right now to these new technologies that are evolving? And are you grounded in your ethics and in your values for that as you walk on this planet Earth, knowing the detrimental impacts that artificial intelligence has on life on Earth for marginalized communities, Black and brown, poor communities, as these huge data centers want to just pop up all around? This feels like a moment where we are going to be quite defiant in that and say, no, actually, we don't accept that. We don't want that. We're going to take our artistry and our beauty here and we are going to double it. And we are going to revisit this way of creation that maybe, went dormant for a little bit, but thank you, AI, for reminding us that our value as artists and as creators is in our humanity. So that's the week. It's a very interesting week. There's a lot of opposing forces. We have a lot of beauty, but also a bit of challenge. And so it's very apt that the lunation is happening in Libra, because we're going to have to be balancing a lot of these energies out. But ultimately, it feels very cathartic and it feels very transformative. If you would be so interested in how these alignments are ever landing for you, please feel free to check out audisolaris.net, and I would love to talk stars with you. We can dive into a deeper consultation for the year ahead, current transits, or your birth chart. And otherwise, I will see you next week to talk about the astrology for then. I'm sending you mucha magia, mucho amor, and mucha suerte. Cuídense.